Yeesha is magic. Okay, before I start, I should probably warn you that I'm probably going to spoil some things about the Myst series. But who am I kidding? You guys have probably all played the games by now. There's nothing left for me to give away. Oh, also, forgive me if this has been pointed out before, but it's just been bothering me recently, and I really need to get it off my chest. Alright, ready? Here we go. What's the basic plot of Myst? Yeah, okay, there's the stuff with the dunny, the linking books, the puzzles, the ages, etc., but none of that really matters. You boil it down to its basic, bare-bones objective of the actual game plot, and what do you have? Atris's crazy sons have captured Atris. You have to save Atris so he can deal with his crazy sons. Pretty basic, right? It's a standard damsel in distress story. Atris has been trapped in the High Tower by the dragons Cirrus and Achenar, and the stranger is the disembodied hand in shining armor who rides up to save him. It's essentially the same story as Mario when you think about it. Alright, what about Riven? I have enormous respect for Riven. It's a huge, beautiful, incredibly well thought out game. But at its core, Atris's crazy father has captured Atris's wife. You have to save Atris's wife so Atris can deal with his crazy father. Huh, well, that's kind of the same. I think I'm starting to see a pattern here. Surely it won't hold up though, right? I mean, Exile wasn't even developed by Cyan Worlds. Surely Presto must have come up with an original plot. The crazy man, betrayed by Atris's crazy sons, has captured Atris's distant relatives. You have to save Atris's distant relatives and deal with the crazy man betrayed by Atris's crazy sons. Alright, it's a little more complicated, and you have to give Presto credit for actually resting the responsibility of dealing with the crazy villain on the stranger's shoulders. All the same, it's still the story of some part of Atris's family being evil and screwing things up for him, and he being powerless to fix it without the stranger's help. Revelation is no better. In fact, it regresses a bit. Atris's crazy sons have captured Atris's daughter. You have to save Atris's daughter so Atris can deal with his crazy parenting. Well, okay, that's a little tiny bit different. The crazy sons actually deal with themselves. But things still need to be set straight with Atris's family. Time and again, across the first 4 games, we see Atris having complicated family problems and being totally incapable of solving them on his own. So, how does that hold up with the last game in the series, End of Ages? It doesn't. Here's my best attempt to boil down End of Ages to a basic plotline. You have to help Atris's crazy magical daughter free the magic alien creatures that were enslaved by Atris's ancestors thousands of years ago by using an ancient magical stone tablet. Yeah. Okay. I'll get right on that. No, wait. Hang on a second. That makes absolutely no sense. What the hell does that have to do with the rest of the series at all? Every other game, again, is a basic damsel in distress story. Atris has a problem, Atris is useless, you have to help him. And don't give me that crap about his burden. If the fact that the magical alien creatures his ancestors enslaved hadn't been freed yet really bothered Atris so much, don't you think he would have told the stranger to deal with it before now? Every other time Atris has a problem, he tells the stranger, and then runs off and gets himself stuck somewhere so he can't help us. Why would he all of a sudden give this one to his daughter to solve? It's not like he didn't know about the Barrow either. By the time Exile rolls around, he's already spent plenty of time exploring Dunny, specifically looking for signs of life. He definitely knows about them, and utterly fails to mention it ever to the stranger, his so-called old friend. So let's be honest with ourselves, okay? Atris didn't really care very much about the Barrow at all. It's not his burden, it's Yeesha's. The game revolves around Yeesha, not Atris. Atris is barely even in the game, and the plot doesn't focus on his family at all. It focuses on Dunny and the Barrow. What's more, the ages you visit aren't even written by Atris, they're written by the Dunny. And what about Yeesha? When we see her in the Myst games, Atris's daughter is a young girl. Cute, if a bit annoying. She does her homework, she captures bugs, she gets herself kidnapped. You know, normal little kid stuff. When we see Yeesha in End of Ages, she's a crazy old lady. A magical, crazy old lady. Yeesha's abilities as the grower, and the powers of the tablet, present the Myst series with its first clear example of magic, ignoring, of course, the art of writing linking books. Even within the world of Myst, a world in which books can be portals to other universes, Yeesha is out of the ordinary. She's magical. And so is her tablet. End of Ages is the first time, excluding the weirdness that was Serenia, where the stranger is required to rely on the supernatural to achieve his goals. This game is just an oddball all around. It doesn't fit with the rest of the series, and that's a problem. Now, how are we going to fix this problem? We could twist the story around, bring in some other family member to create havoc, bring back Atris and revolve the whole game around him. We could do that, but it would take a whole lot of work, and we'd end up with an entirely different game in the end. There's a much simpler solution. There's one other game that focuses on Yeesha, the Barrow, and the Dunny, which I haven't mentioned yet. I am, of course, talking about Uru. Uru, with its focus on online gameplay, ever-expanding plot, and non-linear storytelling, doesn't fit the mold presented by the Myst games at all. Hell, Yeesha's even magical. But that's okay, because Uru doesn't call itself a Myst game. Uru ages beyond Myst. So, it's not Myst, it's post-Myst. That makes sense. It's acceptable. So why, then, does End of Ages insist on calling itself something it's not? My solution to the problem of Myst 5 End of Ages is simply to retitle it. Folks, I give you Uru 2 End of Ages. Really, it makes a whole lot more sense than Myst 5. The content in the game is all left over from the production of Uru anyway, and the story takes place directly between Uru Ages Beyond Myst and Myst Online Uru Live. Atris is barely in the game at all. You could just cut him out of it. Or at least have him thank you for helping Yeesha, because it was never his burden to begin with. So why does this matter? It's just a title. Surely that doesn't really matter in the long run, right? The answer to that is no. Of course it doesn't matter. It's completely inconsequential. But I'm a nerd, so I care.